Hello, hi guys. Give me a few minutes until other people log in. We are going to start in just a few quick minutes. All right, so let's get going. All right, guys, so welcome to this session. This is a 20-hour SAT math bootcamp. All right, and this first hour is free for many of you who are participating. We are going to cover a part of arithmetic that's really important, word problems in arithmetic that are related to rates as well as ratios. Okay, so both of these topics are going to be covered today. As you know, there are a few topics here which are covered in SAT. You've got four main topics. There's algebra, geometry, of course, there's arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and then there's data. Okay, so we cover all of these in about 20 hours, and then you get a lot of practice as well. Today, we are, of course, covering arithmetic. Okay, so hi, everybody. Please participate in the chat. We are going to be solving problems. This is a full hands-on practice session. Okay, so you're going to solve problems with me. That's the best way to study math, in a group with somebody to guide you. Okay, so let's get going. Hi, Damien. Hi, Anuj. All right, so folks are saying hello. All right, great. So let's get going now. Hi, Colin. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to put some problems in here now into the whiteboard, and we are going to get started. So a basic problem here, okay? This is a very standard problem. So let's see how we can do this particular problem. Okay, let's put this in here and let's get started. Okay, so a circle A has twice the radius of circle B. Okay, so let's say circle B is this much, then circle A has twice the radius. Okay, then you're asked what is the ratio. This is circle B, this is circle A. You're asked what is the ratio of this guy's area to this guy's area. Okay, so take a few minutes and solve it. Take your time. And once you solve it, you can type over your answer just in the private message over here. So you can type it over to me, or you can type it publicly in the group chat. Okay. All right. Well, all right, great. So people are starting to answer the question. So people are starting to answer the question. So great. Yeah, try it. Hi, Queen Lee. Nice to see you again. Very good. Good. Okay. So the ratio of circles, circle A's area to circle B's area. Okay. So remember, the circle A has twice the radius. So this is how we're gonna solve it. Okay. Circle A has twice the radius. Whenever you're given this information, let's say circle B has a radius of 1. Okay. So circle A has a radius of 2, right? Yes. Well done, Colin. So circle A has a radius of 1 and circle B has a radius of 2. So what's the area of B going to be? The area of B is going to be pi 1 squared, because that's the area of a circle, right? Pi r squared is the area of a circle. So it's going to be pi 1 squared, right? And now what's the area of circle A? So the area of circle A, folks, is going to be pi 2 squared. All right, so that's going to be written as pi times 4, and this is going to be written as pi times 1, right? You can just write this pi to pi times 4. I'm just going to move the 4 over here, right? And so let's think about it a little bit more. But meanwhile, those people who have solved that earlier problem should try to solve this problem, which I'm going to post over here, okay? I'm just going to post this problem here for you. But meanwhile, those who are solving the easier problem, try to get a handle on what the ratio is going to be. So I'm waiting for your answers. The ratio of, yes, well done, Anuj, well done, Colin. Okay, and this is the harder problem. For those who have already solved this easy problem, try this hard problem, okay? That's a slightly harder problem, so that's a challenge problem for those who want a score above 700. Okay, so this is a 700 plus problem. This is an easier problem, so remember, now it's pi and 4 pi, right? So pi to 4 pi, so you're gonna write down pi over, so the circle A's area is 4 pi, and circle B's area is pi, and then pi and pi cancel out. Of course, there's a 1 here, so it's 4 to 1, okay? Or 1 to 4. Remember, the ratio of circle A's area is asked, right? So circle A's is bigger, so it's going to be 4 to 1. All right, let's try one very, very similar problem. Let me get rid of this, and we are going to solve another problem. By the way, this is, yes, these are all calculator problems, but the problems that I'm showing you, you don't even need a calculator, even though it's going to be on the calculator section. You don't need a calculator to solve these type of problems, okay? So let's try this one. Right, let's try this problem now. Okay, again, let's see who can solve this harder problem. Meanwhile, we're going to solve this easier problem. One of the very, very standard SAT problems, folks. Very standard SAT problems for rates, okay? So try this one now. Okay, circle A is now 5 times. Well done, Anuj. Okay, well done. So circle A is 5 times the radius of circle B, okay? So circle B is over here, and then you can imagine circle A is bigger, right? The radius is 5 times, right? So this radius is 1, and this radius is 5, right? Remember, the radius is given to us. So what's the area of these guys going to be? This is going to be pi 1 squared, and this is going to be pi 5 squared, right? So 5 squared is 25, so you can write this as 25 pi, and this is going to be 1, right? So the ratio of circle A's area to the circle B's area is 25 pi over 1 pi, which is 25 to 1. All right, and now what is this? Okay, this one is a harder problem, but you're right. The people who got it, circle A's area is 9 times that of circle B, so you're basically, the answer is going to be, circle B is 1 and circle A's area is 9, so the ratio is going to be 1 to 3. Okay, so that's the answer. I'm not going to solve it. If you want it, email me. I'll respond to you, but this is an important one, so remember, you need to understand this kind of a problem. Okay, now let's try another problem of a very similar type. Okay, so here's the problem. Okay, this is a slightly easier problem. I'm going to post both of these problems side by side so we can solve it together. Remember, solving these problems together with someone who's an expert is really helped a lot of my students, okay? So try to solve it, try to participate. Yes, many of you are posting it in the public. Some people are posting it privately. Very good. Keep at it. That's the way you're going to learn, okay? So try to solve this problem now. Remember, our square's length is tripled, okay? So always take the original length to be 1, okay? So if its original length is 1, then what is the length of the new square? So think about it. Okay, think about that problem. Great. Great. People are answering it in the private. Very good. Yes. Yes. Okay, so try it. Again, this video is recorded, so if you're having difficulty understanding any of these problems, you can always email me and I'll give you the recording of this video. Okay, well done, Yuri. So that's it. So the ratio is 9 or 9 to 1, right? So and those people who have solved it, try this harder problem. Okay, so try this problem. Meanwhile, we're gonna think about this. A square's length is triple. So if the length is triple and it's a square, right, everything is gonna be triple, right? So if this is a small square, right, let's say this side is 1, and because it's a square, all the sides are equal. This is 1, this is 1, this is 1. And if one of the sides is tripled, let's say it became 3 times, right, like this, right, everything is tripled here. So it becomes 3, 3, 3, and 3. Now remember, you need to know the area. That area section is going to also come in our geometry section, but these are just areas where I believe you know the area of a square is just the length times width, or it's a square of the length. So it's just going to be 1 times 1, and this is going to be 3 times 3. Okay, so this is 9 and this is 1. Okay, great. So this is done here. Now let's think about this problem here. So this is perfect. Now a square's length increases by 5%. Now this problem here, to understand this problem, you need to know percents, which is another topic, but this is how the problems of SAT are based, right? You've got ratios here, and then you've got percents, right? So they're combining both of these ideas in this problem right over here. Okay, so be careful. They will ask you and they will combine both of these ideas. Now there are 10 very important topics, okay? And let me show you the 10 important topics and also the structure of our course real quick. Let me just open this real quick. And then you can understand what the topics are. So the topics are right over here. And I'll also explain to you the structure of our course, and then we're going to solve a few more problems. Okay, so here are the 10 most important topics, the high frequency topics. You don't need to study all of these topics here. All you need to know is these particular topics. So there's percents and exponents, and many of you have attended my percents and exponents section, right? There's rates and ratios that we're doing today. Then there's algebra. There are 3 parts of algebra. On Sunday, we did the polynomial and factoring and the quadratics. All right, so every second or third day, we are having lectures here and practice problems as well. And then there's geometry, and then right over here, 2 parts of geometry, and then there's data over here, right? And then, of course, there's the word problems. So all of these problems are important, right? And then finally, you attend these lectures. Of course, this is a trial session for some of you, but try to attend these lectures and do the problems, do the practice problems with me, hands-on. That's the best way you'll learn. Okay, so let's try this problem now. Okay, so try to focus here. All right, so a square's length is 5% over here, right? So it's 1.05 is the new length, right? So the old length is 1 and the new length is going to be 1.05, right? Remember, the first one is 1 here, and then it's 1.05, right? It's increased by 5%. So the area of this square is just going to be 1 squared, and the area of this guy is going to be 1.05 squared. Okay, so 1.05 squared, it's a calculator problem, so you're going to have 1.05 squared. That's 1.1025, right? So it increased from here to here, right? So that's why this is the answer. So well done, Colin and Anuj as well. Both of you are understanding this. So great, and others are as well privately messaging me. So good job there. All right, so let's move on to the next part. Okay, the next part is going to be over here. So let's say now what happened in the SAT, they might give you a formula. Okay, so let's say the formula is going to be, let's say the gravitation force, right, is, let's call it F is equal to m1, which is the mass of one body, mass of another body, over, let's say, the distance, r squared. This doesn't really matter what's going on here, okay? So let's say the force is given by this, where there are two bodies, right? And there's a gravitational force between them, and the r is the distance between them, okay? So now the question is, if the r, the distance between these two bodies increases, okay, by 4, okay, then the force between these two bodies, what happens to it, okay? Does it increase by 4, or does it, so increase by 4, let's say instead of increase by 4, increases 4 times, okay? That's a better way to say it. So if r increases 4 times, right, then what happens to the new force? Okay, so r increased 4 times. So r became, so let's say the r is 1, now it became 4. Okay, so now what's going to happen to the force? The force is how much, what's the new force? Okay, so that's the question. So let me know, what do you think it is? It does it, let's say, what's the ratio of the new force to the old force? Is it 4, 1/4, 16, or 1/16? These are your choices. Okay, so remember the old force, and always take the r to be equal to 1. So the old force is just going to be m1, m2. You don't really care what these are. Just put r to be equal to 1. Okay, so you get 1 squared, which is m1, m2 over 1, which is m1, m2, right? Right over here. And now you're going to have the new force, which is what happens when the r increased 4 times, right? So what happens with the r? The r becomes, r is equal to 4, right? So new force, guys, is equal to m1, m2 over 4 squared, okay? So that's going to be, yes, take the ratio of the new to the old, right? M1, M2 over 16. So try to think about it. What's going to happen? Is the new, what's going to happen to the new force, right? Because R increases, right, 4 times. So yes, because R increases 4 times, it's going to be M1, M2 over 4 squared, right? So that's going to be M1, M2 over 16, right? So the new force is just the same as the old force, except it's 116 times lower, okay? So it's 116 times lower, okay? So that's your answer, okay? So the answer is 1:16, okay? So well done, people are getting this. All right, so let's move on now. This is, remember, this is an important problem, and email me for the practice sheets where we'll have more problems of this type so you can practice them. And once again, all of these problems are available on the recording, okay? Now, so that was the rates, that was the ratio section, right? There's one piece remaining in the ratio section. That's going to be over here, which is the cross section. Okay, the cross multiplication, my bad. Okay, so let's try this problem here. This problem should be easy for most of you. Okay, so try this problem here. Okay, very easy problem. So try this one. Okay, super easy. Out of 400 machines, 3 are faulty, okay? So how many machines are faulty out of 3,200? So how do you do this? Okay, so you're gonna write down 400 machines, 3 are faulty, okay? And 3,200, how many are faulty? Okay, and then you're just gonna take a ratio of this, like this, is equal to, and then you can either cross multiply them So that's a very important skill, right? 400x, right? Just cross multiply this with this, and then cross multiply this guy with this. So you're gonna get 3 times 3200, right? And now you've got x over here, 400x. Now all you gotta do is divide by 400 here, right? So this cancels out, and then you're left with this answer. And let's see what this answer is. 3 times 3200 over, right? 3 times 3200 over 400. Okay, so the answer here is 24. Okay, very good, Damien, very good, Greenlee. Many of you are solving this. Okay, now I'm going to give you a very similar problem and see if you can solve it. Okay, let's see how you do on this one. Okay, so let's try to understand this problem now. Let's see. All right, so try this problem here, okay? And those who have solved it, I'm gonna give you a slightly harder problem so you can try that one. Okay, so this is the slightly easier one. And for those who know this problem already, of course you can solve this one, but this is for those who need practice. And for those who already have, who already know how to solve this, I'm gonna give you a slightly harder one, okay? So let's go and try to see, let's try to find a harder one. Very good, very good. Excellent, excellent. Many of you are getting this. I'm very happy you're able to solve these problems. Bravo, very nice. Yes, keep the messages coming. Okay, great, great, well done. And those who already know this problem can try this harder problem, okay? This is a harder problem, but try it. I'm glad many of you are getting it. This is for only for those who want a harder problem over here, okay? And this is a harder problem here. I'm gonna move all of this because I think you understand this part, okay? And let's do, this is a harder problem, so try it. And the answer, you can try it over here. If you want it, I can send it to you later, but we don't need to work on it right now. This is only for the 700 plus folks, okay? So don't worry about this if you're having difficulty. For this one, okay, what are you gonna do? 5, so be careful. 5 are faulty out of 100. So just write down 5 faulty out of 5 faulty out of 600 M, right? Faulty and M over here. Now, how many machines are faulty? So how many means X? And X are faulty and out of 2,400 machines, right? And then you can just get rid of these alphabets here, these variables, right? They're not important in calculation. And now all you got to do is you put it equal to multiply this way. So you get 5 times 2,400, right, is equal to 600X. And so X is equal to 5 times 2,400 over 600. And pretty sure you know how to solve this, right? You can just cancel this out here and you can get your answer this way. Okay, you can actually use your calculator and you can get the answer is 220. Okay, so 220 is your correct answer. So well done guys, excellent. So some of you are getting it, and yes, the answer is right over here. So well done whoever got it. Excellent, excellent. 3 people have gotten this harder one, very good, and pretty much everybody's gotten this one, so well done. Just joining the session and communicating with me, keeping your lines of communication open, that immediately sets your brain into this collaborative way of solving, right? So many students have improved their score. Some of them have improved their score by 200 points. Just attending these sessions, one after the other, and solving the practice problems. Remember, the practice problems is also part of this boot camp, okay? So of course, this is a first trial session for some of you. Others are already reaping the benefits of it, okay? So now let's try. So ratios is over now. Now let's try to understand the next part, which is rates, okay? Rates is yet another favorite of the SAT examiners, okay? So here's a super easy problem and then a relatively harder problem as well, okay? So try to solve this next problem that's coming up, guys. Okay, so I'm very happy this batch today's class is very communicative and well, very happy that things are going well today. Okay, so we almost a half hour's over and a half hour is remaining. So we'll be discussing rates now. Okay, so this is the easy problem here and this is the relatively hard problem over here. Okay, so try the problem here. So see if you can solve this one first, this easy one. So 6 miles in 1 hour. Okay, let me just probably a bit better to do this. Okay. Well done, Yuri. Excellent job. Excellent job. Okay, so this is the easy one and this is the harder one. Okay. Very nice. Some of you guys are just jumping onto the harder one. I like it. I like it a lot. So how do you solve this one? Okay, so bear with me for those who have solved the harder one. You can hold on for a minute, but a car travels a speed of 60 miles per hour, right? So in 1 hour, the car travels 60 miles. Okay, so in 4 hours, how many miles does the car travel? Okay, so again, you can do your cross multiplication like you did before, right? Remember, per, anytime you see the word per, it means 60 miles in 1 hour. So now it's the same problem like you did before, right? In 1 hour, you travel 60 miles. So in 4 hours, how many miles do you travel? So you can do the cross multiplication and always you can remove these units here or these variables. So you're going to get x times 1 is equal to, very good, Zunar. So x times 1 is equal to 6 times 4. Okay, so x times 1 is just x. And so this becomes 60 times 4 is 240. Okay, excellent. Excellent, 240. Okay, now I think many of you are getting it. If you don't get it, message me and I'll explain this again real quick. But I think all of you are getting it. And again, you can watch this here. So well done. Now this problem is difficult. So I'm just going to explain this real quick. A car travels at a speed of 70 miles per hour. Okay, so in 1 hour, right, it travels 70 miles. 1 hour, it travels 70 miles. Okay, now what happens next? In 100 minutes, it's asking you, so how many hours, how many minutes are there in 1 hour? Okay, so that's 60 minutes. So 60 minutes, right? At 60 minutes, you travel 70 miles. And again, you're going to set up this exact cross multiplication example, right? What distance does it travel in 100 minutes? So 100 minutes is going to be X miles. Okay, so now you got miles to miles, minutes to minutes, like this. So you're set it up correctly. Get rid of these. Okay, get rid of these. Okay, now you are going to put in the line here and then you're going to put an equal to. Well done, Suraj. Yes, excellent, excellent. So now you're going to cross multiply this and then 60x is equal to 70 times 100. Right? And so now x is just going to be, remember, 60x. So you basically are dividing by 60 on both sides, right? So you divide by 60. So this cancels out. So x is equal to 70 over 60. 70 times 100 over 60. So let's try to calculate what that answer is. 70 times 100 over 60, right? So 70 times 116.67, right? So that's the answer. Very good, very good. Many guys have gotten it. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Good job, Colin. Good job, Anuj. Good job, Siraj. Excellent, very good. So be careful about this. I think many of you understand this, but remember, it's minutes. So you got to convert the minutes to hours, or you're going to convert, in this case, we converted the hours to minutes, right? That was the easier way to do it. So watch the video again. Your problems on the SAT are going to be exactly or very similar to this. Okay, so watch it again and again. practice the problems that I'm going to give you, and things are going to get easier. Okay. Now, let's look at the next type of a problem. Okay. Next type of a problem is very interesting. So in this problem, what's going to happen is, give me 1 second. I'm just going to bring this problem up on the whiteboard for you. Okay, hopefully this is an enjoyable session. I can see some of you are definitely enjoying it. I'm seeing all of you are IMing, or all of you are messaging me here. Well done. Well done, guys who have just posted the answer. Okay, so now let's move on to this part. Okay, now this one is going to be the next step for the rates problem. Okay, let's try to understand what's going on here. Okay, so now over here you've got a water container, okay, that contains 100 gallons of water. Okay, and this actually should be 28. I think that's a bit better. Okay, 28 gallons of water is a bit better. Okay, actually let me, yeah, so a water container contains 100 gallons of water, right, at 9 a.m. in the morning. Okay, at 9 a.m. in the morning. And now at 9 a.m. in the morning. Yes. Now hold off on the miles problem. Let's focus, everybody. Let's focus on this problem now. So at 9 a.m. you got this, and now it's leaking water. Okay, at a rate of, at a particular rate, you don't know what it is. And now at 9 p.m., right? At 9 p.m., guys, this level of water has dropped down. Okay, so originally it was 100. Now it's gone to 28. So what you got to do is, how much water has leaked? Okay, just be careful, listen to what I'm saying. How much water has leaked out? Okay, so calculate that, and that's going to be equal to 100 minus 28, right? That's how much is that? That's 72, right? And now what's the time that has passed? So 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., you know, that's 12 hours. So 72 gallons, folks, has leaked out in 12 hours. Okay, so in 1 hour, how much has leaked out, right? So you can calculate this way. Again, if you know the unit rate concept, you can just do 72 over 12, which is 6. So 6 gallons per hour. Okay, but you can also think about it this way. The same thing that I told you, the cross multiplication, if you have difficulty thinking about it, 72 gallons, 12 hours, right? X gallons, 1 hour. And then you do the cross multiplication. Remember, you don't need all of these units now. And those who have solved the problem, well done, well done. You're going to get a hard problem very soon. Just bear with me for a minute, okay? So x times 12, you're going to write down this cross multiplication here, x times 12, right? That's 12x. So I'm just going to write this down as 12x. And then 1 times 72 is 72. So 12x is 72. And so x is going to be 72 over 12, which again gives you 6 as the correct answer. Okay, so very nice. Many of you have solved it. Okay, very good. So let's move on now. Give me 1 second here. I just want to check something real quick. Okay, so the answer here for someone who's asking is 116.67, not 11.6. Okay, it's this answer. Okay, but let's move on now. So let's move on to this problem. Yet another. Now this problem is exactly the same. So try this problem on your own. Okay, I'm going to just change the numbers here. All right, so give me 1 second to think about it. Okay, so now try this one. Okay, again, this is a rates problem, right? We were given the rates. Now we are actually calculating the rates, right? So we are calculating the rates here. So try this problem, folks. Okay, try this problem. Should be an easy problem. Okay, so try it. Now the time has changed, the amount has changed. Okay, so originally at 9 a.m. it's over here, and then at 6 p.m., right? So you need to know how much time has passed and these numbers here. So find the distance and find in other words, how much water has leaked and also how much time, okay? And calculate that. Meanwhile, the guys who have solved this, this problem as well, very good. Those of you who have solved it, well done, well done. Now try to solve this problem, okay? So this is a 700 plus problem, okay? So try this harder problem, not this one, my bad. Those who've got this, try this. Well done, Meg. Well done, Colin. Well done, Anuj. Okay, so try this one now. Now, this is a slightly complicated one. Let's see how you do on this one, okay? But the remaining of you, please try this problem first, because this is like a surefire way to add points to your score, okay? Every single session you attend, it adds points to your score because I'm showing you the most important problems, okay? Well done, well done, well done, those of you who were getting it, okay? So that's because from 9 to 6, it's gonna be 9 hours, right? 9 hours, and then the distance, how much water has leaked out? 150 minus 105, which is gonna be equal to 45. So 45 gallons have leaked out in 9 hours, so 45 over 9 is equal to 5, okay? Or you can do the cross multiplication and get it as well, okay? So this is a good one. Okay, so try this problem now. What's going on here, okay? So see if you can solve it. See, those of you who can solve it, try it. I'm not gonna explain a whole lot, but let's think about it this way. A car travels 50 miles per hour, okay? And leaks gasoline at 2 drops per minute, okay? So 2 drops per minute. So in 1 minute, you leaked 2 drops, right? In 1 minute, you leaked 2 drops. Well done, Meg. Well done. Very good. So be careful. Be very careful, guys. Take it easy. I know you can do it. The big thing with SAT is if you have careless errors, right, you're going to lose points. So take it easy and solve it, okay? Yes, well done, well done. Now some of you are careful. So 1 minute, you're losing 2 drops, right? Now, yes, very good. Well done, Zunur. Okay, 1 minute, you're dropping 2 drops. So 150 drops, right? So 150 drops, find out how many minutes. Well done, Suraj. Yes, 150 drops, how many minutes? So X minutes. So try to calculate that. So 2, right? So try to calculate how many minutes you're going to do, and then it should be easier, okay? So how many drops have you got? So you've got 75 drops here, right? So try to calculate the answer. Here, you've got X times 2 is equal to 150 drops, right? So you've got X is equal to 150 over 2, which is 75, right? So 75 minutes have passed, right? 75 minutes, right? So in 75 minutes, you got to find out how many miles the car has traveled. So I'll leave it with you how to do this problem, okay? But try it. If you have difficulty, let me know. But let's move on. I think we need to move on to the next problem, okay? So now let's try to do a more wordier problem, okay? A wordier problem. So let's try to think about this this piece over here. Okay, give me 1 second while I pull this problem here. Okay. So try this one. Okay. All right, so try this problem. So let's understand it. In a certain school, every class, so there are a variety of classes, and each class contains 20 students, okay? And each student donates $5. So think about it. Think about this idea here. How can you convert this idea here? Okay. Total amount of money donated by the entire school is $4,000. Very good. Very good. Some of you are getting it. So let's think about it. In a certain school, every class contains 20 students, right? So this first class has 20 students, then the next class has got 20 students, then the next class has 20 students, okay? Now, what's gonna happen is each student donates $5. So if there are 20 students, so each student donates $5, so there are 20 students, so it's got to be 20 times 5, which is 100, right? So in other words, 20 students are here, and the amount that these 20 students donate is $100. So you're going to get 100 here, then you're going to get 100 here, then you're going to get 100 here, right? And they're asking, when you add all of these 100, what is the add? The total is 4,000, right? So let's say the number of classes is 100, so you're going to just do 100 times x is equal to 4,000, okay? And so now you just got to divide by 100, so you get x is equal to 4,000 over x, and so that is equal to 40, okay? So remember, first you gotta remember you've got 4,000 here, and they're asking how many classes does the school have, okay? So that's the important part. Let's try to solve an exact same problem of this type so you get more practice, and then we're gonna move on to some more algebraic ratio problems, okay? So first, try to solve this problem though. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see how many of you can get this problem, the exact same problem, guys. Okay, so this is how you're gonna learn in the upcoming sessions, okay? Practice it with me, learn. Just watching the videos, people don't really learn a lot. You need to be here in real time. You need to be here in real time. Yes, these problems are not the exact problems, but these are very, very similar to the problems that'll come on your SAT. Just the exact same idea, okay? So someone's asking me, are these the exact problems? These are not the exact problems, right? But because of copyright issues, I cannot put in the exact problems, but these are the very, very similar problems that are gonna be on your test, okay? So let's try. If you do these problems, you should easily improve your score by 150 to 200 points just looking at these problems, because these are the most important problems, okay? Even I would say even memorize these problems because they're very similar, okay? So yes, every class contains 100 students, so one class donates 2 times 10, which is $20, right? And you're told, so one class donates $20, right? It donates $20, and so $8,000 is donated by how many classes? So that means X classes. And now just get rid of these numbers here, okay? These units here. So all you got is 1 over, and then put a line over here, equal to, and then just cross multiply. Same old trick, okay? Everybody's been using it for years. So there's no reason you should be shy about it. Just divide by 200. Don't forget to use this cross multiplication. There's going to be at least 3-4 problems that will involve cross multiplication. That's an important skill. Okay, so this is 8,000 over 2,000, and so that answer, you can use your calculator. It's going to be 40. Okay, so let's move on now. Now let's move on to this interesting part here. Okay, let's think about this section, folks. Okay, let's think about this exact problem that we did before. Okay, now though, you are not going to have numbers, you are going to have alphabets. Okay, and this is massive. If you can get this part, you're golden in ratios. Okay, because they always try to hide the numbers with guys, with alphabets. Okay, so I know many of you are able to solve this problem here, right? I'm going to get rid of this problem, and we are going to do the exact same problem, guys, just with alphabets like this, with variables now. So the numbers are gone, right? Many people get confused by this, but try to find out what the answer is over here. Look, just compare over here, exact same idea. Okay, so try to use the same idea now. First, find out how much one class is going to donate. Okay, one class donates how much? Okay, take your time. I'll wait here for a few minutes. This is a really important problem, and I think you need to master it. Okay, here it was 20. Okay, here it was 20. Here it was 5 in this problem here. And here it was 4,000. Don't be worried about the numbers, about these alphabets, okay? They are the same things. They're exactly the same things over here, okay? So first, let's try to calculate. Well done, guys, well done. Let's try to calculate how much one class makes, how much one class donates, right? Here, each class donates, remember, each class donates 20 times 5. So all you got to do here, you can just put in here 20 and 5 and think, oh yeah, one class is going to donate 20 times 5, right? So, but now the 20, his new name is A, right? And 5, their new name is B. So you're just going to write down A times B, okay? Now, what's the next thing you did here? You said one class donates 20 times 5, which was 100, but just write it down as 20 times 5 here, right? And now you're going to ask X donates 4,000, right? And then you did the cross multiplication. Over here, what you're going to do is one class donates 20 times 5, but instead of that, I'm just going to put A times B here. Okay, I'm just going to put A times B because that's the same as 20 times 5, right? Now, don't be worried about these alphabets. They're just boxes for numbers, right? And now you're asked X classes is 4,000, right? But instead of 4,000, you got a C here, right? So what you're going to do now is the same cross multiplication. X times A times B, right? Like this, X times A times B, right? Over here, you did X times 20 times 5, right? Now this is equal to this cross multiplication, C times 1. Okay, now you just got to think about this A times B, right? X times this whole guy here is going to be divided, right? Divided by A times B. So it's going to be divided over here and it's going to be divided over here. Okay, can I please ask you to turn off your videos because this is going to be recorded. So, and unless you want to show your face, right? So please turn off your videos. So this is going to be C over AB, right? C over AB, right? So C over AB, because this goes C over AB over here, right? And so that's going to be your answer, right? That's going to be your answer, C over AB. Okay, perfect. So well done for your patience over here. Watch this problem again. The practice questions that I'm going to give you are going to have this. Email me if you have any questions. Okay, so let's move on now to the next topic over here. And now I'm going to show you a super easy method. Okay, that's the specialty of this practice session. You're going to do practice problems hands-on with me, so you're alert, you're not distracted by Instagram, right? There's no TikTok anymore, but there's, at least you're not going to be distracted, right? But remember, the whole idea is you're fully involved for 1 full hour. Now the SAT is like a 3-hour test. So you need to develop that mental strength. Even though you know the problems, you need to develop that strength so you can solve the problems. And this develops strength, okay? A lot of my students told me that they love these sessions because they've developed the strength coming day after day after day after day. They develop the strength. Just watching a video and pausing it is not going to work. Okay, I see how strongly many of you are solving the problems, how focused you are. That's because you are here and everybody's solving it together. Okay, and that's an important skill. Okay, so this should be easy for many of you, but I'm going to show you a quick way of solving it. Okay, now this way is very important. So let's think about it this way. You are given this equation, okay? This is an important one. 1 kilogram is equal to 2.2 pounds, right? 1 kilogram is equal to 2.2 pounds. And you're asked, this person is 150 pounds, okay? 150 pounds, right? And now all you got to do, now, by the way, this is called a conversion problem, okay? You're converting one unit to the other. How do you convert it, guys? I'm going to give you the simplest way. Pretty much everybody who's looked at this, they're so happy they looked at this, okay? So this is how you do it. 150 pounds, you got to convert it. You got to convert, like converting gold to silver, silver to gold, something like that, okay? 150 pounds, you got to convert it to kilograms, right? So this is your initial amount. This is your final amount, right? So now what you got to do here is 150 pounds, you're going to draw a line and you're going to write 1 here. Okay, this is going to be important for harder problems. So this is, even though it's easy, just pay attention here. It's going to simplify harder problems for you. 150 pounds over 1, right? Now, what you got to do is just be careful. You have to look for this equation here, right? You want to look at this pounds here and just write down pounds in the bottom here, and then 2.2 pounds over here, right? You have pounds here. So search in this equation where you got pounds here and just write down 2.2 here. Okay, now because you got to multiply and divide by the same number, right? This guy here is in the denominator, but this is also equal to 1 kilogram. So all you're going to write down is 1 kilogram here, right? Just remember what we've done here. We started with this 150 pounds, right? Yes, Zinur, you can do a lot of things, but this way is gonna help you when the problems become way harder. But you're right. But this way, just think about it this way. 1 pound is over here. You're gonna write it down. You're gonna figure out this is a pound. Then look for this equation. Then you're gonna get pounds over here. Then you write down 2.2, and then you write down 1. Okay, and then what happens? This cancels out, and then you're left with 150 times 1 over 1.1 times 2.2 kilograms, right? This kilogram automatically appeared over here, and there you go. And then you can simplify it. Of course, I know many of you, pretty much all of you know this method, right? You're just gonna say, hey, Ash, why are you showing me this method? It's gonna be important. I'm gonna tell you why it's gonna be important, okay? But before that, yes, now you're gonna understand why I'm going this roundabout way of doing things, okay? And many of you probably can solve this next problem the same way. All right, many of you can solve this next problem the same way, but let's try to solve it the way I've mentioned it to you, okay? So let's try it this way. This is a 1-hour session, so it's almost getting done. So we've got a few problems, and then maybe we can review real quick what we did, and then we'll close the session, all right? So this batch has been really good. So let's think about this problem here. So think about this problem. What are you going to do? Okay, so you've got yards, right? So you want to convert. So read the problem carefully and think about it, but it's going to be right over here like this. 2,000 yards, right, has to be converted to inches. Okay, 2,000 yards is to be converted to inches. So what are you going to do? You're going to write down 2,000 yards, right? Then you put a line at the bottom and you do 1, okay? And for those who finished this problem, here's a challenge problem for you, okay? So hang with me for a minute. I'm going to give you a challenge problem here. So let's see how many of you can solve this problem. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm telling you, you need to understand this type of a method, okay? Well done, Meg. Well done, Anuj. Okay, so all of you who've solved that problem, try to look at this, try this harder problem, but the others should focus with me over here, okay? Because if you're having difficulty, then this method is going to be super helpful, okay? So remember, our goal is to convert 2,000 yards to 1 inch, right? So let's look at this over here. This is the harder problem, okay? So this problem, try to solve this. Those who have already solved it, the first one, try to solve this problem, okay? But look at this problem now, okay? So 2,000 yards over 1, right? And now look over here, wherever you see yards. So you see yards over here, right? Which is 3 feet. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna write down yards over here, right? And look at this 1 yard, right? And you put 3 feet here, okay? 3 feet, right? Because 1 yard is 3 feet, right? And you're multiplying and dividing. Or remember, when you multiply and divide, you got to multiply and divide it by the same number, okay? Or you can't see it. Can you see it now? Let me zoom it in. Can you see it now? Just let me know. Okay, perfect, perfect, great. So try it. All right. So the others, don't get distracted. Try. Let's look at this problem over here. Okay. So now that you've got this, remember what you've done is your goal is to convert yard to inches. But before that, let's see what yard do we have in this equation. So 1 yard is 3 feet, right? So 3 feet is over here. Now all you're going to do is this is yards and this is yards. So gone. This yards is gone, and you got feet now, right? Now you look at this equation and you can pretty much cancel this out. Now look at this equation, right? Now again, to convert the feet to inches, what you got to do is you got to you got to put the feet here, right? You want to cancel this, but where's the feet? Feet is right over here. 1 feet is 12 inches. Okay, 1 feet is 12 inches, guys. So what does that mean? Cancel the feet out, and you're left with inches. And that's what they're asking for, right? So the SAT problems are just kind of letting you one after the other. You just got to keep solving them, okay? So all you got to do is you cancel the feet, and you're left with inches. And look, all the units are gone. You converted the yards to inches. So now let's try to think about this. 2,000 over 1 times 3 over 1 times 12 over 1. Well done. Yes. So now this one is going to be 3 times 12. So you can use this. You can do the calculation. Is going to be 72,000. So very good. So many of you have been able to solve this. Now I'm going to give you an exact same problem here so that you can, let's see if you can solve it. Okay. So let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this guy and this, and let's see if you can solve this other problem. Okay. So, and that's what, and so, yep, try the harder problem, guys, who were able to solve the easy ones. But now we are going to do, let's see. Okay. So let's try something like this. Okay, and in the practice sessions that I'm going to do, there are going to be more problems because these are exactly the problems you need. You don't need to do any harder problems if you want to improve your score. If you're above 700, if you're already getting above 700, guys, there's another session we run, but this is for people who already just want to get to 700. Okay, you don't need to work very hard on this. Just memorize, almost memorize these methods. Okay, try this problem now. Let's see how many of you can get this. So remember, it's 3,000 yards. You want to convert it to inches. Okay, so what do? 3,000 yards, you're going to convert it to inches, right? So you're going to multiply this over here, and what's the next step? You're going to put yards here, and then look at the equation here, and I'm waiting for you guys to give me the answer, okay? So work on it, I'm waiting for you. Meanwhile, I'll look at this problem here. Well done, well done. So we are looking at this problem here, guys, okay? So what's going on here? He wants, right over here, he wants to spend a total of $D for booklets, right? So that's why I was saying $D goes to booklets, right? You want to convert this unit to booklets. So how do you do it? Let's write down the equations first, okay? Let's write them down real quick. So let me get rid of this real quick. Yes, people are answering the easier part, this question. Well done. Try it, the others. Meanwhile, I'm explaining this part. So you've got P pages per booklet, right? So P pages, right? P pages is equal to 1 booklet, right? Then you got 5 cents, 5 pages is equal to C cents. 5 pages, right, is equal to C cents, right? So instead of C cents, right, and C cents, sorry, and then you also know that 100 cents, guys, is equal to $1, okay? Is equal to $1. So now, remember, all you got to do is very simply, you write the dollars here, divided by 1. Now you multiply it by something, right? What is that something? You're just going to write down dollar here and look at what you got here. Is there any dollar here? Yes, there's a dollar here, right? So I'm just going to take $1 here. This right-hand side, put it here. Left-hand side, I'm going to put it here. Okay, I'm going to put cents here. Okay, so the dollar is gone with the dollar. Right? Now you got cents remaining here, right? So how do you do cents? Look at, and remember, this equation is gone. So the only equation here that has cents is this guy, right? So you're going to put in cents below here and look for this equation. Okay, so there's C cents here, and then 5 pages over here, right? So be careful now, almost there. So this is cents and cents is gone, right? And now pages, right? So this equation is gone, and then you've got this equation here. So P pages is 1 booklet, so it's going to be pages in the bottom. So P pages and 1 booklet, okay? And so pages and pages cancels out, and look, you've got booklet here. So you got D times 100, and this is the hard problem, guys. You don't have to understand this. Only if you want anything above 700 you need it. So, and C times P, okay? So it's gonna be 100 times 5, which is 500, D times 1, which is just D, over CP, okay? So that's the reason why I was telling you this kind of a method is super important. If you missed it, look at it again, because you might get a problem and you can solve pretty much any problem using this kind of a method. Otherwise, it's super confusing. This method is so simple. Okay, coming back over here. So 3,000 yards over this. So you got yards here. So you're gonna write down 1 and 3 feet. Then this yard and this yard cancels out, right? And now you got feet over here, right? So now you can also do feet to feet. So you got feet to 12 inches. So you're gonna write down 12 inches. So this and this is gone. And now we've got inches here. So now you're gonna write 3,000 times 3 times 12, right? And that's your answer. So remember, all of these ideas are important. Well done, Anuj. So all of these ideas are important. Now let me just, for 2 minutes, tell you. So what's gonna happen next is email me if you want to continue the sessions with me, because remember, you need to do practice with me. Without me, if you read a book, you are probably gonna you're gonna lose interest, get disinterested in maybe an hour or two. Here we do 20 hours, and that's all you need to get a very strong boost in your score. And more importantly, I'm showing you the problems that are coming again and again and again on the SAT, okay? So that's important. Plus, I'm gonna give you a cheat sheet. So let me show you how the cheat sheet looks like, guys. And there are a variety of cheat sheets that I've got, but take a look at this cheat sheet, okay? So if you're interested in this particular type of cheat sheet, right, we're gonna look at all of these problems. I'm gonna show you, we've solved all of these. Some of you have seen this section, right? Many of you have seen the percentage section. All of these are super easy shortcuts to how you should be solving these problems, okay? So this is a cheat sheet that I've got here, right? So get in touch with me if you're interested in these sessions, right? Hundreds and hundreds of students over years, I've been teaching since 2008, have improved their score, okay? So here's how the session goes. So the first day, we are gonna do a lesson, right? Like how you've done. Then the next day, we're gonna solve practice problems, and you're gonna get back to me. You're gonna take a test. You're gonna submit your answers, right? And you're gonna receive feedback from me on the problems that you're getting wrong. So this way, you know what you're doing wrong, okay? And now, that's what repeats. And these are the most important topics. Remember, we did rates, ratios. Then we're gonna cover linear equations. Then we're gonna do system of equations, polynomials, and these, right? So remember, these are the only topics you know, and these are 20 days, each is 1 hour, right? So it's right in time over here. Just practice the problems, and then you're ready to take the practice test, okay? I've also got the videos for the practice test. So I can give you the entire 1 hour video for the practice test if you join my session, all right? So that's it. Let's quickly review what we did, guys. Let's look at some of the problems, and I'm going to explain to you. I know it's more than an hour here, but that's why I'm here to help you. Remember, the first thing that you did was over here, where you looked at the circle and you calculated. So somebody's asking the pricing for the course. The entire course is for $95, okay? It's been discounted. The original cost was $395. It's been discounted due to COVID-19. Only $95 for 20 hours, okay? And those of you who already have this course, thanks for your patience, because I do this. I have to. I've got to. This is how I earn my living, right? So I teach you, and if you appreciate it, you can join the session. But now let's review real quick what we've done. Let's look at these problems real quick. Remember this problem here, okay? Let me zoom in just a little bit, and thanks for your patience again. Let's wrap this up real quick. Remember this problem here, right? A circle has 5 times the radius of circle B, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the radius of circle B to be 1, right? If you have the circle radius to be 1, then this circle's radius is gonna be 5. Right? And then all you got to do is use the formula pi times 1 squared, and this is going to be pi times 5 squared, which is 25. So that's how you're going to calculate the ratio. Okay. Now the other one, the same deal over here. Okay. Now what else did we do here? Remember, we had that formula m1 m2 over r squared. That's another important thing. And then this was very easy for many of you, the cross multiplication idea. 60 miles 1 hour, then x miles how many hours, right? 4 hours, right? And then you do the cross multiplication and you get your answer, right? So that's important. Then this one was a harder problem, and then eventually we did this problem where you take the difference. So the time is just going to be, in this case, it's of course 9 hours, and then the amount of water that's dropped is 45. So remember, rate is equal to the gallons, the change in the water over the change in time. So that's basically, everything is related to time here, right? Sometimes it's distance, sometimes it's water, right? And then this was a very important problem. Most of you got it, but remember, this is an important one. And then what we did, guys, is we did the exact same problem. We did the exact same problem with A, B, and C. And I noticed many of you were having difficulty. Why are you having difficulty with this? All right. That's because you haven't practiced it. That is why I'm saying you need to do the practice sessions with me. You just come in here, pay attention. This 10 is exactly the same as this 8, right? It's the exact same problem. I'm just going to actually put this problem right over here for you. Okay, it's the exact same problem, guys. So I don't know why many of you had difficulty. It's probably because, look, it's the A and 10, is the B and 2, is the C and 8,000. That is why you need to work on the algebra section, which is coming in the next few days. Okay, so hang in there. We're going to do this. And then the unit conversion, that's a super easy method. Pretty much any problem which has units in it can be converted using the method I told you. And that's easily 50 points added to your score. Okay, so take it easy, watch this problem again and again, solve them, email me if you need the practice problems, but I'm telling you, solving this by yourself, you're gonna reach only so far. You need to be together, see other people solve it. That's how the energy grows, and that's how your brain is gonna understand and get confident, then you can solve it, okay? So let's think about it. Ask me any questions if you have. Okay. Great. So if you have any questions, email me. I've got to go, but I see some of you are asking, so I'll let you know. How do you sign up is what people are saying. So you can just email me. Everybody has my email. It's ash@bluerocketacademy.com. And you can pay me through PayPal, or you can pay me through Venmo or Cash App. Or if you want to pay through credit card, I can send you a link, then you can send it to your parents, and you can pay me through credit card. Okay, so the cost is $95 for 20 hours, and the next session is going to be on Wednesday. Okay, so a lot of people are joining, as you can see. So we've got other sessions during other times of the day as well. So let me know if you're interested. And also, don't forget to ask me any questions about this, because I'm here to answer your questions, okay? So I'm going to take leave now. And if you have the questions, I know, Colin, you had a question. Anuj, I hopefully answered your question. So Colin, we'll probably continue this discussion on email, okay? But very good, very nicely done. Thanks for your patience, guys. And I'll see you very soon, all right? Have a good night. Bye.